Now I'd like to welcome our next contestant. Will you come in, please, sir? Hi. Will you tell our panel, please, what your name is and where you're from?
Bunny Levitt of Chicago.
Now, normally, as you know, a contestant would join me at the desk, but it's so seldom I get a chance to stand next to someone who's not as tall as I am. I thought I'd kind of live it up and enjoy myself a little bit. But Mr. Levitt doesn't mind my kidding him about his size because he's got something that I will never have and none of us ever will, I imagine. Mr. Levitt established a record a few years ago that has never been equaled. He is a world champion in his particular field. Now, Mr. Levitt, in what field do you hold this record? Will you whisper to me, please? Right, that's going to take a little explanation. Will you tell me more? That does it. Now, panel, the clue to Mr. Levitt's secret concerns something he did, and it might help you try to establish the field in which he did this. Now, Mr. Levitt, why don't you not go over here and sit down and rest while the panel goes to work, huh? We'll start the questioning with that old sports expert, Beth Myers.
Oh, yes. Mr. Levitt, then I would assume that it would be in sports. Is it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is it a sport that men of your height do not usually participate in?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily do not, or not necessarily that they do, or what did I say?
They normally do not.
They normally do not. Would it be a sport that would be participated in by many other men at the same time? For example, a team sport.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it something like baseball?
No, ma'am.
Or basketball?
Yes, ma'am.
Is basketball?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we've lost the $20. We have $60 to go, and Bill Cullen's on.
Are you the world champion free throw expert?
That's exactly what he is. Now, the way the secret was expressed, the exact number of free throws he successfully made was mentioned. So I'm going to forfeit the complete $80 because otherwise we would spend a fruitless 10 minutes trying to guess a number, which is of little or no sport for the audience. Now, Mr. Levitt, who is better known as Bunny Levitt, is a former professional basketball player. 10 years ago, he established the world's record for sinking foul shots, or free throws as you call them, a record that no one has ever even come close to equaling. Mr. Levitt, how many foul shots did you sink before you finally missed one?
499 in succession.
499. Now, it seems that by the rules of free throw competitions, you are allowed to miss two before you are disqualified. Now, after sinking 499 shots and missing on the 500th, he was allowed to continue until he missed again. How long were you able to continue, sir?
I went on to 871.
That's a total of 870 before he missed again. And now, you didn't actually miss a second time, did you?
No, I didn't, Gary, because I shot for 7.5 hours without a rest, and I guess the officials were tired and they wanted to close shop.
He was so far ahead of any possible competitor. And finally, the judges said, "Oh, nuts to it. Let's call the whole thing off." They gave him the championship, and everybody locked up and went out and got something to eat. Now, your record was 870 out of 871 tries. What was the score of your closest competitor?
85 in succession.
85 in succession was as close as they got to him. Now, I know that you now conduct a basketball clinic for youngsters. Would you give us an example of your foul shooting?
Be glad to.
All right. Now, one thing I would like to point out is that in this free throw competition, I'll take your coat, buddy.
Thank you.
In free throw competition, you are allowed to warm up until you feel you have the range and until you can say, okay, start. So we're giving him 3 warm-up shots. After that, he's on his own. That's 2. He obviously didn't need the warm-up shots. All right, go, buddy. That's Pat McCormick retrieving over there. Now he's got the range, he can keep on doing this all night. He was doing this at 6:30 when I came into the theater tonight, and at 7:30 he was still doing it and hadn't missed yet. So, Bunny, he could go on all night, but you know what television is. Thanks an awful lot. Oh, you know what? You go right ahead and play all you want. We'll meet our special guest in just a moment, but first here's an important message for you.